So as we know, we all discussed already three characteristics of chemical reaction. That is what, first one is what, guys? First one is
Evolution of gas.
evolution of gas. And the second one is
Formation of precipitate.
formation of precipitate. And the third one is, which we have studied, is change in
color.
similar way. Similar way. In our today's class, we are going to study the remaining three characteristics. That is what? The change in temperature. Next one is change in physical state. And last one is change in odor. So now, coming to here, the fourth characteristics of the chemical reaction is change in temperature. So already in the first example itself, evolution of gas itself, we have been studied under the change in temperature. Do you remember? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
So now they're like that. So during chemical reaction, if the temperature, once the chemical reaction takes place, if the temperature of the substances is changes, then we can say it is also a chemical characteristics, one of the chemical characteristics. So some chemical reactions are characterized by a change in temperature. So for example, the best example which we have to take is quicklime react with water. So now, before I am going to say you quicklime, slake-lime, now I am saying you, all of you remember, two words I will say you. One is quicklime. So quicklime. Another one is called as slake-lime. Okay. So now in alphabets, who will come quicker? Q or S will come first? Please respond. Q will come. So Q quicklime is called as calcium oxide. All of you should remember. Yes. Q after will come, which is called as calcium hydroxide. Clear, everyone? Calcium hydroxide.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm saying you quicklime and slake-lime. So this is, you have to remember it. So, and remember here a lime. Remember also this quicklime we used to call it as, simply I can say lime also. So lime or quicklime, or I can say calcium oxide. All three the names of this only. So throughout this lesson it is used to come, and next chapters also used to come. So please, yesterday I asked some questions to someone, but they said we don't know, we have to revise. But there is no use of studying correct. Once we are studying now, you have to remember. At least if you are not able to remember one day, then what is the use of preparing? That is what my first question. So this all people used to confuse every time. So remember, so lime, or also we can say quicklime, or we can say calcium oxide. So next, slake-lime we used to called as calcium hydroxide, or else lime water. Have you remembered yesterday we studied lime water? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So lime water we used to called as slake-lime. Okay, so these are the things you have to remember. Now, coming to our fourth characteristics of a chemical reaction, change in temperature. Now you tell me, change in temperature means either it is increasing temperature or decreasing temperature or both. Please respond.
Both.
Both, sir.
Yeah, so change in temperature means, all of you should remember, it can be rise in temperature. You understand, everyone? It may be rise in temperature or maybe fall in temperature. So both we used to call it as what? Both we used to call it as change in temperature. Some reactions will take place, it will give you increasing heat. Some reactions will take place, it will take the heat so that it will give you cooling. So now let us come to here. If we'll add quicklime react with water, do you understand what I'm saying? Quicklime react with water. Understand? So we used to get a product called as slake-lime. What we used to get? Slake-lime. Understand?
Slake-lime.
So now slake lime. Now during the time, if you touch the beaker, for example, I am having a beaker which is containing quicklime. Understand everybody what is this? This all we used to call as quicklime. Understanding? So now calcium oxide. Now if I'll pour the water, understand Elmakel? So this is called as water. Now here itself what will form after reaction? The calcium hydroxide will form. Understand? Calcium hydroxide, that is what we used to call as slake lime. And by the time if you touch the container, then you'll feel what? Pradosh? You'll feel what? That is what? You'll feel hot. Understand? So hot in the sense of rise in temperature or fall in temperature.
Rise in
Rise in
temperature.
temperature.
The heat rises the temperature due to which the reaction, this mixture becomes very, very hot. So we can say that this chemical reaction between a quicklime, calcium oxide, and water to form slake lime is characterized by which characteristics, guys? We can say it is the
Change in temperature.
temperature. Do you understand? And change in temperature, which change in temperature? Rise in temperature or fall in temperature?
Rise in temperature.
So if you touch, once the water is added to the calcium oxide, if you touch the beaker, you will feel hot. So hot in the sense of rise in temperature or fall in temperature? Alana? Rise in temperature. Understand? Mukesh Karthik and Adarsh. Mukesh Karthik is there. Adarshan is not there. Lakshya, you can excuse. Still somebody is Manya and Samya is missing. Aswita, just call them. And Mahalakshmi is missing. Just inform them what is this. Boys all are there. Pradosh, just verify who is missing. Let me know. So that is what. So we can say it is what? It is the reaction what? Which is rise in temperature. Yes or no, guys?
Yes, sir.
That is what you can say. So this reaction between quicklime and water to form slake lime, we can say it is rise in temperature. So rise in temperature, basically the chemical reactions we used to call it as what we used to call exothermic reactions. Understand everybody? So this is the very, very important one. So wherever we can find the temperature is rising after the reaction. So that reactions we used to call it as which reactions? Tamil Selvan? Exothermic reaction. So exothermic reactions means, remember, heat producing reactions. What we used to call? Heat producing reactions. So rise in temperature. So during a chemical change, the heat will either be absorbed or released. So it means the chemical reactions maybe takes place. If the heat is released, we used to call it as exothermic reactions. What is the best example of exothermic reactions, guys? Quicklime. Understanding means calcium oxide react with the water. We used to get calcium hydroxide plus also what? Plus heat. So plus heat will come. This is the example of which reaction? Exothermic reaction. Any doubt? All of you? So the chemical reactions in which, understand, heat temperature will increases, then that all the reactions we used to call as exothermic reactions. So now, suppose, let me take now one more example. So now the chemical reactions between, already we studied, zinc granules reacting with H2SO4. So what is the products we used to come? Yesterday we studied the first example, evaluation of gas. This is the same. Alana, can you say the products? What is the products will come, guys?
Zinc sulfate,
Zinc
plus
sulfate plus
hydrogen gas.
hydrogen gas.
Gas. And as I told you, along with that, it will release what? It will release heat. So that we can say it is also characterized by change in temperature, which is also rise in temperature or fall in temperature.
Rise in temperature.
So it is an example of what? Exothermic or endothermic? We can say it is
Exothermic.
exothermic. Understand, Sai? Now also, for example, now let me take for those burn a sticks. So sticks in the sense of like firewood. Understanding? So firewood is made up of, if you burn it, it contains what? Carbon. Yes or no, guys? So carbon burns in air. So what is happening? Carbon burns in air. It will react with oxygen and will produce what, guys? It will
Carbon dioxide.
carbon dioxide, plus it will produce lot of heat. Yes or no? So lot of heat means it is a which reaction?
Exothermic.
Exothermic reaction.
So that is the first one, the subcategory of rise in temperature. That is what? Change in temperature. So change in temperature, either increasing temperature or decreasing temperature, rise in temperature or fall in temperature. So rise in temperature, the first example is quicklime reacting with the water. It will produce what? Slackline. Understand? Plus it will produce heat. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, everybody? That is.
Yes, sir.
The second one, which already we studied in the last class, that is zinc plus sulfuric acid will react, will produce zinc sulfate plus hydrogen gas, plus it will produce heat. So this formation of zinc sulfate plus hydrogen gas, we will study under two types of characteristics. What is that, guys? One is evolution of gas and another one is what?
Change in temperature.
Change in
Gas,
temperature.
another one is what? Change in temperature. Understand, Sai? That is what you have to remember it. Next, second one. So rise in temperature we have studied. Next, second one is what, guys? Fall in temperature. Yes or no? Fall in temperature means the reactions which is needed heat, additional heat is needed to take place the reaction. Means we have to provide the temperature or else they will absorb from the atmosphere. So that absorb heat energy. So fall in temperature or rise in temperature, Maunesh, Shakti?
Fall in temperature.
Fall in temperature. So that kind of reactions we used to call as endothermic reactions. What we used to call, Shakti? Endothermic reactions. Clear, everybody? So now, what do you mean by endothermic reactions? The chemical reactions for which heat energy is required to carry out. That is the reactions. Please, all of you write. Okay, those chemical reactions for which heat energy is required to carry out or we can say heat energy is absorbed or heat energy is absorbed during when, guys? During reaction. Yes or no? During reaction is called endothermic reaction. Now, if we take this endothermic reaction, then we can say we'll give an example of this chemical reaction in which heat energy is absorbed, due to which temperature will fall or increases, rise in temperature or fall in temperature. So fall in temperature. Understand, Maunesh? So now if we take the example, let me take example of and barium hydroxide. I will say only word equation. Will you say the symbolic equation? Please respond.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, barium hydroxide reacting with ammonium chloride. It is actually a very, very coolant reaction. Please all of you remember fall in temperature. Ammonium chloride. Okay, next, if you'll see, they will form test tube and will mix with a glass rod. They will form both. If you'll take in a test tube, understand? And if you'll mix with the form, and they will form a barium chloride. They will form ammonium chloride plus what will come, guys?
Ammonium hydroxide.
Ammonium hydroxide.
Hydroxide. Ammonium hydroxide. No, ammonium hydroxide won't come. Ammonia and water will form. Ammonia. Ammonia plus water will form. So that is what. So a lot of heat energy is absorbed during this reaction, due to which the temperature of reaction mixture falls and the bottom of the test tube, if you will touch it, it's become very cold, very cold. Okay. So now all of you remember, whenever you will get ammonium chloride reaction, it is a very coolant, so that temperature falls, temperature decreases. All of you should remember that. So it is which reaction? Exothermic or endothermic?
Endothermic.
Exothermic or endothermic?
Endothermic.
Endothermic reaction. Now let me write the chemical equation. So barium hydroxide. Anybody?
BaCl2.
So barium
BaCl2.
BaOH twice. Okay, my friend. Barium hydroxide. Ba2 plus hydroxide minus 1. So that will become BaOH twice. Any doubt? Plus ammonium chloride. Anybody? Ammonium chloride?
NH4Cl.
NH4Cl.
Cl2 less. Okay. Ammonia. Brothers, what happened? Not all opening mouth. Girls also. Cl minus 1. So if you crisscross, what will come? NH4Cl. So it gives you barium chloride. Now you can say
BaCl2.
plus ammonia NH
NH3.
plus
NH3.
water.
H2O.
H2O.
Now BaCl2, Ba2 plus Cl what? Minus 1. So that we can exchange, it will get what? BaCl2. Okay, ammonia and H2O, no issues. Now again I'm saying, whenever you get ammonium, that is NH4. Okay, next ammonia, NH3. Girls, everybody please remember this. Ammonia, NH3. Ammonium, NH4. Is it okay, Manya and Samya? That is what you have to remember. Clear, Shesha? Any doubt? So now it will require very huge amount of temperature it will take to place the reaction. So it will absorb large amount of energy. So that fall in temperature or rise in temperature? Fall in temperature. Now, if we'll take this mixture, understanding barium hydroxide and ammonium chloride in one beaker, and if we'll start mixing with a glass rod or stirring with a glass rod, then you can see they will form three products: barium chloride plus ammonia plus water, and lot of heat energy is absorbed during this reaction, due to which the temperature of reaction mixture falls and the bottom of the test tube becomes very cold or very hot, Mugesh? Very cold. Clear? That is what you have to remember. Brother, somebody still is missing, except Mahalakshmi is not there. And okay, Lakshya, she asked for some excuse. Let it be. Remaining still somebody should come correct. So next, if we'll take, let me take one more. So if we'll take here the chemical reaction between barium hydroxide and as well as ammonium chloride to form barium chloride and ammonia plus water is characterized by which reaction, Ra? Change in temperature. But it is what? Fall in temperature. It is fall in temperature. So that we can say it is which reaction? Endothermic. Okay. It is the example of endothermic reaction, I can say, which means heat is absorbing reaction. Heat absorbing reaction. Okay. So now one question also I'll ask. One more example I will give you. Later I will ask you. So now write the next example. Can you write the equation products? I will say only the reactants. You say that you write the products. Okay. Now let me take one more example. So now you can say a small amount of ammonium chloride. Second example, ammonium chloride. I won't say any chemical formula. You have to write it. Ammonium chloride. Okay. React with the water which has been taken in beaker. Understand, Elmukel, Pradosh? Which has been taken in beaker. Then you can see the beaker becomes very cold as heat is absorbed for dissolution of ammonium chloride in water. Do you understand? Heat is absorbed. There's a reason for water. Heat is absorbed for dissolution of ammonium chloride. In where? Ammonium chloride in water.
Water.
What is the products will come? Any guess? Any guess? So we will add heat before arrow. So that what is indicating, guys? It is absorbing heat or releasing heat. Releasing means after arrow, and absorbing means what will add? Before arrow. Understand? So heat it will take. So that what is the products will come? Pradosh? Water it is reacting. So that what is come? Ammonium hydroxide plus what will come? Hydrochloric acid. Okay. So that is what you have to remember. Hydrochloric acid. Okay. Now write the products. Everybody. Let me see. Okay. Symbolic equation, right? Ammonium chloride. Tell me. Ammonium.
NH4Cl.
NH4Cl.
Manya, you have to be in time, both of you, both the sisters have to be in time. I'm saying you again. So because it's late means late only. Okay, now ammonium chloride, tell me formula, everyone. Yes.
NH4Cl.
Cl.
H4Cl.
NH4Cl.
Ammonia is NH4 plus 1, Cl is minus 1. So if we crisscross, we used to get what? NH4Cl. Shakti, remember the formula. Don't say me, sir, I don't know, I want to read. I will finish, you remember. Next, water. Water is what is the formula? H2O. So it will take heat. It is a endothermic reaction. Yes or no, Mukesh? Speak. Open the mouth.
Yes, sir.
Reaction. We used to get ammonium hydroxide. Ammonium hydroxide, what is the formula? Anybody?
NH4OH.
NH4OH.
NH4 plus 1 and OH is what?
Minus 1. Minus 1.
Remember,
Minus
class
1.
9, the only polyatomic positive ion. Do you remember? Only
Sir.
polyatomic
Yes,
positive
sir.
ion. Sir, now, that is the thing.
Yes,
you have to remember. Polyatomic positive ion. Okay. So reminding all polyatomic ions are negative or positive, check it. All are negative only. Yes or no? Except this. Plus, what will come? Maitrayan, next product. Hydrochloric acid. Hydrochloric acid. So this is an example of what? Endothermic reaction. Clear, everybody? So this is what I want to say you. So now, one question which usually 90% I also will forgot, and I also forgot to teach last year batch. Understand? So later only they noticed that question and they asked me during preparation. And nobody will touch that question in the textbook. Do you understand? Nobody will touch that question while teaching anybody. So that is only the page number 10. You have soft copy, correct? You don't have soft copy? Please respond.
Yes, sir.
You have all soft copy?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So or else, if you don't have, I will send a pic of that. You keep it as a challenge in the mind. So either that one will discuss or not in our anywhere. So now later you ask me. So that question only, carry out the following activity, and that is the question, very, very important question. Most of the times they ask in the exam, but I also not notice it because usually I won't follow that. Sometimes I will miss the things. That is what I have sent you an image in the group. Please, all of you open it and try to answer it. So what is the question? Read. Can anyone? Shakti, Adarshan, late. Tamil Selvan, can you read the question? I have sent you one question now. Can you please read? Try to read that question, guys. So that is a very, very important question. So is it the same or not? So you have to tell me the reaction. What do you feel? Is it the exothermic or endothermic reaction they are asking? So what is that? You can observe very carefully. And tell me.
Endothermic, sir.
Endothermic.
Very good. Why it is endothermic? Just now we studied.
Ammonium chloride, sir.
Ammonium
Another one
chloride
is
is
what? Another one is what?
Hydroxide.
Hydroxide.
Barium
Barium
hydroxide.
Is it same or not? Pradosh, check it. Same reaction or not?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Understand?
Yes, sir.
Please, all of you note it down. Once you receive the books, this is the first question you have to remember, because no 90 not 100% children won't study that. And if you see in the textbook, those who are having soft copy, there is no discussion of characteristics of chemical reaction much. Hardly they are not even teaching one page, because they will teach only explaining reactions, like only the characteristics textbook, only 4 given. Have you seen? Change in state, change in color, evolution of gas, change in temperature. That's all. So nothing even explanation also given. Directly they went for balancing equation. But why we are taking this much time? Nowhere you will feel difficulty. Have you noticed it? So nowhere in the textbook they discussed about the exothermic and endothermic reaction. But the question came or not? Yes, that is the thing I am saying. You understand, everybody? So they won't give the question, they won't give the explanation properly, but exam they will ask the question. So for that, what is the answer? Barium hydroxide, ammonium chloride is the verified coolant, so that fall in temperature. So it is a which reaction, guys? It is the
Endothermic.
Endothermic.
Endothermic reaction.
remember. Okay, so this is the 4th property. Next, 5th property. What is the 5th property? 5th property, change
Change
in
in state.
change in state. All of you should remember. So change in state, what is there? Tamil Selvan, change in statement going from Pudukkottai to like Tamil Nadu to Andhra to Karnataka, like that. Change in state. Yes, please. What do you mean by change in state?
Liquid to gas.
Yeah.
Solid to liquid.
Solid, liquid,
Onto gas.
Reactant will be in one state and the products will be in another state. That is what we used to call as change in state. Yes or no, guys? Everybody, will you accept it? Now, change in state means during some chemical reactions, the physical state, change state in the sense of, you can remember bracket. What is that? Physical state. So we're having 3 states of matter. What is that? Solid, liquid, and gaseous state. And also I told you one more state. What is that? Aqueous state. First
state.
is very important. So during reaction, before reaction, some state of substances, after reaction, some other state. So that is what we used to call as change in state. So now let us take the best example, formation of water. So formation of water, you tell me the reaction, I won't say. Formation of water, let me see who will say. Formation of water, please respond. So now formation of
Hydrogen plus
plus
oxygen.
oxygen.
hydrogen is a gas, oxygen is also gas. So which will give you water.
H2O.
Water is a what? Water is a
Liquid.
Liquid state.
you understand? So change in state takes place or not? Yes, that is what I want to say. So this is the one example. Now let us take one more example which will take place in our daily life. So now, do you have all candle? Please respond. Candle. So candle
Yes,
is
sir.
made up of wax. Yes or no, guys? Wax we can
Yes,
say.
sir.
Okay? And if you take this is the candle, all of you should remember this material is called as wax, and the thread which is present, which will bright light, that is only we used to call it as wick. Okay. Okay. So now let us take, you'll consider about the wax. We are not talking about the combustion reaction of candle wax. Is a characteristic by change in state only. So now let us take when the wax is burned. So in the form of a wax candle, then if you take, then water and carbon dioxide are formed. So if you burn the candle, then we used to get what? Smoke we used to get. Light and as well as smoke we used to form. Yes or no? Please respond.
Yes,
That
sir.
smoke is contains gas called as what? Any burning reaction will reduce what? Carbon dioxide, and also will form water vapor. That is what vapor state we can say, gaseous state. So now you tell me, now as we know, wax is a which state? Which state of wax? Wax,
Solid.
solid. But we are getting carbon dioxide and water. Carbon dioxide and water is which state?
Gas.
Carbon
Gaseous
dioxide
and liquid
gaseous state. So during this combustion reaction of wax, the physical state from solid to what is forming? Sorry, water is a liquid state. So it is solid to what it is forming. So 1 minute. Solid, first what will happen? Wax is a solid. If you heat it, it will melt. So it will melt into which state? It will melt into liquid state and it will form the gases of carbon dioxide and also water vapor. Water vapor, so that we have to represent with the gas only. So that is. So wax is a solid. So solid will melt into what? Solid will melt into during combustion reaction, the solid to liquid, and the liquid will be converting into what? Liquid is converting into gas. So the combustion reaction of candle wax is characterized by a change in state from solid to liquid and gas, so that it will be happening a solid wax converting into what, guys? Yeah, correct. Okay, Ashrita. Any substance will mix with the water, then that is called as aqueous state. Is it okay, Ashrita? Something is dissolved in water. So if you'll notice it, so what is this? The combustion reaction of candle wax is characterized by a change in state from solid to liquid and gas, because wax is a solid. Understand? Now, next, wax is a solid and this solid will melt and it will converting into liquid. So during this time, it will form water vapor and this water vapor will condense at the room temperature. What will happen, Elmokel? Will condensate. Condensate. If it will condensate at the room temperature, it will converting into which state? It will convert liquid state. Condensate means what? At room temperature. Condensate means what, guys? Decreasing temperature. Yes or no? So if you decrease the temperature, it will converting into gas, water, and room temperature, the carbon dioxide produced, CO2. What is the state of carbon dioxide?
Yes.
What is the state? Gas state. So that is what you have to remember. At room temperature, remember, at room temperature, carbon dioxide is a gas and water vapor will form. It will be condensed back into liquid state, and wax is a solid one which will melt and will produce this water and carbon dioxide. So this is the reaction we can say, which will be under the characteristic of what? Change in state. Or else lot of things we can say. So you can say zinc is a which state? Solid state. Okay.
Solid.
H2SO4 which state? Aqueous state. Understanding? Which we used to get zinc sulfate. What is the state of zinc sulfate, guys? Aqueous state plus what will come? Hydrogen gas. What is the state?
Hydrogen gas.
Gas. Okay. So now change in state is taking place or not? Change in state is taking place or not? That is the you have to remember it. So this is the fifth characteristics of chemical characteristic. Now the last characteristics, which is rarely we will use, that is what it is. What is that, guys?
Change in order.
Change
Change in order.
Okay. So now burning of wax, remember wax is a solid, will melt so that liquid and will produces carbon dioxide plus water vapor. So at room temperature, water vapor, what is the state? Water vapor will be condensed back into liquid state and carbon dioxide at gaseous state only at room temperature. Okay, guys. Now the last characteristic, that is what we can say. What is that? Change in
order.
Order. Okay, so that is smell, change in odor. Now, let us observe some chemical reactions accompanying change in odor. For example, if you take iron sulfide, all of you tell me, iron sulfide, if you take example, guys, okay, is treated with a dilute sulfuric acid. What is that? Dilute sulfuric acid. So then you can see, I'm not saying the products here. Understand, okay? So if the reaction will takes place, then you will get rotten egg smell. What will happen? Rotten egg smell. So this reaction you studied in the class 9th. Can anyone tell me? Iron sulfide formula. Iron sulfide.
Hydrogen sulfide.
Yes?
Hydrogen sulfide.
Iron sulfide. iron sulfide, FeS.
Yes, of
Understanding? FeS, because FeS, Fe2 plus and S2 minus. So that if you exchange, what will come? FeS. FeS, sulfuric acid. Then we used to get a products. What is that for? Products will come. Yes? Tell me.
Hydrogen sulfide.
What is the products will come? Ferrous sulfate and hydrogen sulfide will come.